Hi everybody. So today's video is a little different from the usual ones because today is the 4-month anniversary of when I walked away from my 9-to-5 job and became self-employed. So I'm reflecting back on some of the lessons learned and things that I think could help you in case you decide to make the leap. So let's get right into it. If you're new here, my name is Liz, and usually on Tuesdays I release a video teaching you how you can add video to your business. If that's a topic that's interesting to you, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. However, today I'm really just sitting back and thinking about some of the things that I've remarked about myself, learned about the situation, and really tried to implement in my life in the last 4 months. So if you missed the video that I made back in June, you can see that here. And that's where I was talking about my decision to leave my 9-to-5 job and become self-employed with my own business. About 6 weeks after that video is when I actually left my 9-to-5 job. That was 4 months ago. So of course, before we take any major decision or step in our life, we have all sorts of ideas about how things will actually turn out. And we have all these grandiose notions about what every single day will be like. However, nothing could have really prepared me for what it's really like to be self-employed and working from home in the early stages of building your business. So I thought I'll just sit back and share some of the things that I've experienced over the last couple of months. I know that many of you who watch this channel may be working in a 9-to-5 job and trying to build a side hustle with a dream of eventually taking that full-time. That's exactly the path that I was on, and it might be in the back of your mind that one day you would like to leave your full-time gig so that you can make your dream a reality and do it full-time yourself. If that's you, then make sure that you stick around for this video so that I can share some of the thoughts and the things that I've experienced as I've tried to get into a pattern and a flow over the last 4 months. So let's jump right into it. Now, back in June, when I released the video talking about my reasons for wanting to leave my 9-to-5, I did quote that time was a big factor because I felt that it was really hard to build my business on the side while I was dedicating 40 hours a week to my 9-to-5 job. I felt like a lot of things were slipping through the cracks and I just couldn't get anything done well. What I have found having all this new time on my hands is that having a lot of time can sometimes be as difficult a challenge to manage as not having enough time. What I realized about waking up every day and having this blank slate of a calendar in front of you is that you are really forced to be disciplined about the way that you use your time, to make sure that you are using it for things that actually make a difference and give you a lot of fulfillment and satisfaction. Otherwise, what you will find is that all of a sudden, it'll be 8 p.m. and you kind of didn't get to anything yet. This is the situation that I was in for the first couple of months when I first became self-employed, because I found myself having all this time on my hands and then trying to piecemeal in different activities throughout the day. So the way to really get over this is to know in advance what it is that you are going to be working on every single day. You should be working with a greater goal and a set of action steps in front of you so that you never have to just wake up and wing it. What you will find when you are winging it is that you will burn through 5-6 hours. All of a sudden you'll get wrapped up doing housework and errands and all sorts of other minor tasks, and then you will end up going to bed at night feeling like you got nothing accomplished. This is an awful feeling, especially if you have left a 9-to-5 so that you can build your business. So if you are planning to leave your 9-to-5 job because you feel like you don't have enough time to build your business, then remember that you still only get 24 hours, so the time itself doesn't increase in any way. The only thing that changes is that now you have to be very disciplined about how you spend your time. In a 9-to-5 job, at some point you will have to log in or show up to your workplace, talk to your peers, hand in things, report back to your management. There's all sorts of touch points throughout the day that will basically keep you on track moving through your career. When your calendar is basically empty and free for you to play with as you like, you have to be extremely disciplined about it so that you don't just burn through your day and then all of a sudden realize, it's midnight, I did nothing. On that note, consider the fact that time itself is not a direct path to success. If you feel that you're going to leave your 9-to-5 job and get 40 to 50 hours back in your schedule per week, do not assume that that is going to equate to your automatic success. The only things that are really going to contribute to your success is your level of discipline, your level of execution on your plans, and a few other parameters like that. But the time itself is not going to make the difference. People sometimes think that just because you have a lot of time that you are automatically going to see results very quickly. That is not at all the case, and it truly depends on how you use that time. One of the other things that I really noticed over the last 4 months is that not everyone will understand your decision to leave your 9-to-5 job, to become self-employed, and then be working full-time on your own gig. However, it is absolutely fine if not everybody understands that. There's no way in the world that we can please everybody or explain ourselves to everybody that crosses our path. Most of the time, people's reaction to us when we give them any type of monumental news, whether it's this type of news or anything else in life, usually their reaction is a direct result of the experiences that they themselves have had. Consider the fact that when you leave your 9-to-5 job to start your own business full-time or to develop it, there's all sorts of ideas that it's a financial risk, that you're risking your own stability. Sometimes people worry that you're risking your pension and your benefits, all of these things. It is usually because those people are having that own worry themselves. It is not at all about you. If you are leaving your 9-to-5 job to start your own business, let's make an assumption that you've spent some time thinking of it. You've already spent some time crunching the numbers, I'm sure. You've already decided that this is a risk that you are willing to take, and you've made a commitment to yourself that you are willing to work hard so that you minimize the risk and then actually see results and success. The person that's listening to this and watching this, perhaps they've struggled in their own life with some of these goals and setting these goals and actually achieving them. So never, ever, ever feel discouraged if people do not react positively when you tell them this. I have experienced many people over this time who in fact have been very, very positive and supportive when I've mentioned that I've left my 9-to-5. 100% of the time, if I unpack that, I can see it's because those people themselves are very, very satisfied with the way that they are achieving goals, setting goals, trying to face their dreams. Most of the time, if somebody says, oh my gosh, how did you leave your job? It's such a risk. It's awful. It's terrible. Everything's going to be awful. Usually it's because those people themselves have faced that worry and that risk in their own life, and they've not felt good about the way that it has turned out. So don't take any of this stuff that you hear just from passerbys on the street and then take that onto yourself. Make decisions based upon your best assessment of yourself, the understanding that you have with your own family and the people closest to you who are impacted by your decisions, and then try to go forward with the confidence that you are willing to work hard to see your results through. The fourth thing that I really understood is that it is important throughout the day to work with your energy levels. Now, society will tell you a lot of things about what time of the day is most productive to work at, when you should not work, how you should plan your hours, all of this stuff. Remember that society is not paying your bills and they are not living your dream. So it's absolutely fine to take advice from here and there and watch YouTube videos on productivity and read all of the books. However, only you truly understand what your energy is like, what your creativity is like at certain times during the day. There might also be other triggers that come up during the day that you could not have expected, and you should be willing to adapt and be flexible to that. For example, I'm the type of person who works really well first thing in the morning. Between 6:30 to 9:30 a.m. is when I have a great deal of clarity and creativity. If you ask me to work on something during that time, I can get it done quickly and get it done well. On the other hand, if I try to do that same thing around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it is going to take me hours. So when you are self-employed, in fact, you don't have any time to waste playing around or playing these type of games. So try to spend some time analyzing and observing for yourself when you feel at your peak performance. Whatever that time is, make sure that you protect it. That means telling your family, your friends, all of the people who may be involved with your day-to-day about those hours that you want to be left alone to do your work. Once you work with that, you will find that you can work quite a bit more efficiently than trying to muddle through things when your energy is low, or when your mindset is just a little bit foggy, or when you're just not feeling at 100%. Once you get into this type of a process, you can greatly reduce the amount of overwhelm you feel at the end of the day if you feel like you didn't get anything accomplished, and you can get through more work in a week by working faster and smarter. Another thing that I've observed is that it is absolutely fine to say no regularly. Saying no is the best chance that you have to preserve your mental energy, your creativity, and then actually do things that give you great joy and satisfaction. The problem with saying yes to everything is that you end up feeling bitter about people and activities that you have said yes to that you didn't truly want to do. There is no time to waste when you are on your own and trying to build your business. You've left behind the stability of a career to take on every single errand and project that comes your way. When you are self-employed, society sometimes considers that you have tons and tons of time at your disposal. That is often what people think, and then they will ask you to do more and more different things. I have been asked to do more favors for people in these last 4 months than I've been asked any time in the last 15 years. But it is great to say no to the things that are not going to serve you or move you forward in your goals or actually be truly helpful to somebody else. Make sure that you prioritize the things that are going to benefit your health, benefit the well-being of your family and the people that are closest to you, and actually put you in a great positive mindset every single day. The last thing that you want to do is take on everything in the world and then wake up every single morning feeling like, oh my goodness, I have to get through all of this today. If that's the case, then you might as well stay in your 9-to-5 job and still be feeling stressed out and hectic all the time. Another thing that I learned really late in these 4 months is not to be over ambitious about your to-do list. The issue with waking up every day without an alarm clock and not having to commute to any workplace is that you feel like you can get 75 things done in a day because, hey, you've got tons of time. The problem is that is not possible for any single person. Try not to overextend and underestimate how much time each task actually takes. It's not really worth it to get a little bit of a million things done. Try to organize your schedule in a day so that you get 2 to 3 major things done from beginning to end if possible. That way you have a great sense of satisfaction at the end of the day that you actually got stuff done rather than kind of getting stuff done and then moving it over to tomorrow's pending list. Don't ever have more than 3 things on a list. If you are really satisfied after finishing those 3 that you still have time and energy left to burn in the day, then of course you can work on other things. Or you can consider it a great day well spent and then spend some time just to, relax or enjoy the reward of having worked hard that day. This was a real problem that I faced when I first started working because I thought that if I have 10 hours of free time, then of course I should be able to get 8,000 things done today, but it doesn't really work out like that. Another thing that I noticed is that people are always watching what you are doing when you become self-employed and walk away from your 9-to-5 job. Sometimes people consider it a totally controversial and scandalous move on your part to leave a nice stable job, and they're just out of curiosity waiting to see what it is that's going to transpire out of this life change. Sometimes people are watching because they're not really wishing you well, but you know what? We're not going to spend any time in this video talking about that. Instead, I want to talk about the people that are watching because in fact, they're feeling truly inspired and motivated by your move. So always share the things that you are learning, either on your social media or in some other way, or by talking to people. Let them know how your time is going as you are working on your own business, getting your feet wet there, becoming an entrepreneur, getting out on your own. This will really give people an added back-end view of what it feels like for them to possibly make the same move in their own lives. Don't forget that this is a massive life change for people, especially if they've been working in a somewhat stable job for years and years. You might be the only person that somebody knows who has actually successfully done this. So make sure that you are there as a mentor and as a support person for them so that you can share ideas, get them kind of going on the right path and in the right mindset so that they can also see whether it could be possible for themselves. Now, the 8th thing that I learned over these last 4 months is definitely the hardest thing, and it is still a work in progress for me, and that is to protect your schedule at all costs. When people find out that you are self-employed, for them that basically means that you have 11 hours in a day where you have nothing to do and you are available just to kind of, do whatever needs to be done at the drop of a moment's notice. This, of course, is not going to work, and it's really going to put you many steps backwards in actually achieving your business goals. Once you have identified the times during the day when you are at peak performance, the clearest mindset to do your work, preserve those hours. When you have blocked time in your schedule to work on something or to learn something new, or you want to exercise or you want to get out and get some fresh air, block those hours and protect that time. Do not let people allow you to move around everything in your schedule to accommodate all the things that they want to get done. Remember that they are probably working on a fixed schedule themselves, and as you should be too. Remember that you have taken a risk by leaving a 9-to-5 job. As much as you have thought about it, it is somewhat of a risk because your income, your financial stability, your freedom, all of that is greatly impacted by the way that you are working on your business, building it, and then seeing results. That way, when 1 week is complete, you will feel very satisfied that you've spent dedicated hours working on your business, which was your intent in the first place when you left your 9-to-5 job. Now, the 9th thing that I learned is something that I did in fact already know because I had spoken to people about this before, but I'm sharing this in case it's news for you. Sometimes we leave our 9 to 5 job and we think, okay, perfect. So now we're not going to be working those 8 hours a day anymore, and we can use that time for other things. Be forewarned that once you are self-employed, you will work more than you ever worked at a 9 to 5 job. At least at a 9 to 5 job, I was able to log out by 5 or 5:30. However, when you are self-employed, you constantly feel this pressure to be productive and to be producing things and working towards your results. You will find yourselves working on evenings, on weekends. You will find yourselves working through holidays, other times when you should be relaxing. This is just that natural paranoia that comes with feeling like you are not actually putting all of your time into your business. Be careful, because this can set you up for burning out, feeling overwhelmed, and feeling resentful of the fact that you do have your own business. However, it is very common for early stage entrepreneurs to put more time to build their business than they ever spent anywhere. Remember that your results almost are solely based upon how much you are able to execute through your goals and get your systems and your processes up and running. So knowing this, that will be actually spurring you on to keep working and keep working hard. Don't ever expect that once you leave your 9 to 5 job, you're going to wake up leisurely in the morning, slowly get into your day, do 3 hours of work and bring home 6 figures and all of the things that the marketing ads say. Be prepared to roll up your sleeves and put in good, significant work. It will be a lot of work, but however, remember that that's your dream that you are putting those hours into. Now, the last thing that I will leave you with today, which is one of the best things that happened over the last 4 months, is that I was able to find a group of people who were working with the same end goals as myself. Now, entrepreneurship is one of the loneliest journeys that you can imagine. Even though there are literally millions of entrepreneurs in the world, each single one of us at some point will feel like it is us versus the world, and we're standing on the top of a mountain by ourselves. So when you are in an environment where you can get constructive criticism, feedback, brainstorming, see with a different lens the things that you are working on, it makes a world of difference. There is absolutely no reason that any one of us need to build everything from scratch, from zero. There are people out there that will be willing to mentor you, who are a few steps ahead of you, that can really shine a light on some of the struggles that you might be facing right now. Not only that, but surrounding yourself with people who are working towards similar goals as you is an invaluable thing to have. You will never feel that sense of loneliness anymore. You will feel like you have friends and peers and support and people that are interested truly to see your growth. That positive energy is absolutely going to help you build your business as you are developing it brick by brick. As soon as you start interacting only with people who are not very happy that you are building a business, or people who are never willing to give you any positive feedback or any encouragement, that is when things start going downhill very quickly. That is when you start to second guess whether you are cut out to be an entrepreneur. You start wondering whether you actually have a good business idea in mind. You start wondering whether you made a mistake by leaving your 9 to 5 job. There's all sorts of mindset issues that can creep in if you are filled with the wrong type of energy from a negative crowd. So do your best to find a crowd that is going to support you and enjoy watching you grow, that have similar goals in mind. Now, despite the daily mindset challenges that come up, I have never regretted for a single second making the decision to pursue my business full time. Remember that you are trying to build something out of nothing. You are building from the ground up, brick by brick. And in some cases, that dream might be triggered from your childhood, or from something that your parents had wished for you, or even in an opportunity to show your own children what it's like to set a goal, work hard towards it, and then actually achieve it. If you are thinking of building your own business, even as a side hustle, and possibly walking away from something that is taking up more of your time throughout the day, remember that a lot of this is an exercise in your own self-confidence. You have to have your own self-assessment about what your work ethic is like, how much discipline and execution you are known for, and whether you are a person who is able to set goals and then actually implement them. Once you feel that you are able to actually do that in the other facets of your life, that is a really good indication that this might be a great time for you to also consider taking the plunge and pursuing this full time. So make sure that you subscribe to this channel so that you can follow all the rest of my content that I generally post about how to add video to your business. Because when you are in the early stages of your business, marketing is a very, very important thing that is going to help you to get traction to move you along faster. And I personally believe video is the way to go. So until next time, take care.